Hello everybody, welcome back to another video in the series of me showing off my Yugioh goat deck after a tournament and then saying how to improve it. So, the deck doesn't really change video to video, so it might be boring, but we start off with Cliff the Trap Remover. This is a card, it's pretty good. It destroys traps, it's a great card. You know, it's a warrior, so you can search it off of Rhoda. Next card we have here is Solemn Judgment. Solemn Judgment here is a once again strong card, right? Can counter most things and stop your opponent from key plays. Great card. Then we have Marauding Captain. This is a great card, allows you to get multiple bodies on the field pretty effectively and protect your warriors, because when he's on the field only he can be targeted if there's another warrior, right? And then here we got Kelbeck, one of the few non-warriors in this deck. Strong card, very good for keeping card advantage and kind of just have it, you don't lose card advantage because the opponent's monster is just sent back to the hand. It's a great card. We have Blade Knight here. Blade Knight's just kind of a versatile multi-tool of a card. Has lots of different small benefits. Makes him a great attacker and great card. Here we have Brain Control. Brain Control, great card. You pay a little bit of your life points in order to gain control of one of your opponent's monsters. Great as a finisher tool because you can take their powerful monster and then they have no cards on their field to you could just attack them for face, which is a great card. Which is great. Great card. Here we have Warrior Returning Alive. Great card. Just it allows you to retrieve warriors that have died and you can use them again. Great card. We have Rhoda. I have two Rhodas in this deck. Great, because this is what makes a warrior deck because you kind of have lots one-ofs of warriors that have a niche uses, and using Rhoda you can search them out when you need them. Great card. Here we have Torrential Tribute. This is a board clear ice. So if you're in any trouble, you can just clear the enemy board and your board and just kind of restart the game. Great card. Here we have Emergency Evacuation Device. This is a very useful tool, right? This deck is all about versatility and being able to solve problems when you need to solve the problem. It's a great card because it has lots of different uses. You can, send a monster that is about to die that you control and send it back to your hand so you can play it again, or you can send back an enemy monster when you're attacking to attack them in the face. Great card. Here we have Dreamcon. This allows you to destroy cards. Great card. It synergizes with Stumbling and a lot of cards that delay attack and makes him, negates attacks, and great card, hard removal is great. Here we have Command Knight. Command Knight is just a stick of stats and benefits and boosts your other warriors while being hard to remove, because if there's another warrior on the field, Command Knight can't be attacked. So, very good. Mystical Space Typhoon. This is just, spell trap removal. Great, very useful. That's why it's limited, because it's such a good card. Another Dream Clan, already described. It's a very great card. Robin Goblin. This card can have some troubles in terms of it doesn't do much to affect the board, but if you can get it out early, it basically decides the game. So this is basically an instant win card if you have it at the start and it doesn't get removed. So it's very useful. Mage Power. Once again, this is an equip spell. This is one of the few equip spells that I think is actually very good. I will talk about that later, but Mage Power just the amount of attack that you get is impeccable. It's great. Here we have final attack orders. So this is the trap card, and this basically just controls your opponent, right? Your opponent has less options, and it benefits you because there's some combos with like Goblin Attack Force and Stumbling, right? Because you have Stumbling and it transient and it just controls the flow of the battle, which is great. Here we have Blindly Loyal Goblin. This, once again, this is just a big stat boy. He's got a lot of attack and lots of defense, and has this ability just means he can't be used against you, which is great. And then here we have Mobius. This is the one tribute monster I have in my deck. This is just for removal of spells and traps for your opponent. And he's just just a big tribute guy. Great card. Giant Trunade once again, very good for a final play, or it's very useful because there's lots of different situations you can use him in. Great card. We have the Hunter with 7 weapons. This is just he's kind of weak, but he has some qualities, right? He has 2,000 attack, which is very high, but only really at that start. Live decks they run a lot of different types of creatures or monsters, and he doesn't get the extra 1,000 attack boost. But he's very good for just playing him and destroying a guy, which is great. And then here we have another Command Knight. I already said Command Knight's great. Then Call of the Haunted. So Call of the Haunted, this allows you to, special summon a guy from the graveyard, which special summoning is very good because you only get one normal summon a turn. So being able to special summon one is very good. And this also allows you to avoid board wipes, right? Because you can torrential tribute, destroy everything. Then Call of the Haunted, it's good. Here we have Goblin Attack Force. Is just a big guy with 2,300 attack, and he's a normal summon, so he's just to get over the big boards, big guys that your enemy might have. But then also his ability is downside, but you can negate the downside and you can use him. He's good. Then here we have Wabaku. This is just delaying, right? Delays your opponent's encroaching chance of victory, and you can save a turn, combo better with it. Kind of shuts them down from destroying your guys. Reckless Greed. Reckless Greed doesn't really do much, but it allows you to get ahead of your opponent in terms of turns, right? It's like you skip into the future, and that means you have more access to cards. Now, I think if I had Pot of Greed or a lot of other draws, I would get rid of it, but I don't, so I use Reckless Greed, which is fine. And then here we have Frontier Wiseman, once again 1,600, still pretty big, and he protects my other warriors. Here we have Stumbling, right? This just delays your opponent from it kind of confuses them, makes them stumble, and you can use that to your advantage, play this, and then with Giant Trunade and other cards that shut this off, you can only inflict the downside onto your opponent. And we have Penguin Soldier. So Penguin Soldier, once again, just, removes your opponent's monsters in order for you to get in there and attack. Once again, Rhoda, great card. Reinforcements Army allows a warrior deck to be a warrior deck. Mist Magic Cylinder, it's a burn card. It does a lot of damage to your opponent, but it also removes the damage from you because you don't take the attack. And then also, you negate the attack, so you protect one of your own monsters, which is great. Saying again, this allows you to search cards, and it keeps you in parity with the amount of cards you have compared to your opponent, so you improve your stamina in terms of card draw, which is great. Book of Moon, very versatile. Once again, very versatile card. Allows you to protect your monsters. Allows you to, gain value out of flip effects. Shut down your opponent's effects. Great card. And then we have Swords of Revealing Light. So Swords of Revealing Light is, once again, stalls out your opponents for your victory and kind of allows you to, have more time in order to win. DD Assailant, this is, powerful stats, but also allows it even, can get over even bigger guys by banishing it. You just take some damage. So once again, very strong card, DD Assailant, very good. Magician of Faith. So Magician of Faith allows you to recur a lot of the spell cards, that have been destroyed. So it allows you to, once again, get more use out of the cards you have in the deck. Or I have in the deck, at least. Once again, then I have another compulsory evacuation device. Great card. This is one of the cards I'm thinking of removing and improving because it doesn't do much. And you kind of draw and you're like, right? And the yellow and shiny, and this one isn't, so I'll get rid of this one, right? But we'll do it because I think these last couple are the ones I'm going to get rid of, so we'll talk about that. And then we have Autonomous Action Unit. This is an equipped spell. You pay life, and then you revive a monster from your opponent's graveyard. This is kind of bad because it destroys. If this gets destroyed in this way, it just makes the monster very weak. And also, relying on your opponent to have powerful monsters isn't very good. So that's why also this is one of the cards that is up to being removed. And then here we have Hammer Shot. Hammer Shot I really like. It's just flat out, just kill the biggest guy. The main problem with Hammer Shot is that it's both. And my guys have a lot of just attack. And so most of the time you can't really use this because it destroys your guys instead. Because you can't target it. Just, I don't know, maybe it does target. I don't know what the rules are, but it destroys. You don't get to pick what it destroys, which is kind of bad. I don't like that. And the final card we have here is Big Bang Shot. This is another equipped spell, and the reason why it's so bad is that it destroys your own monster when this is destroyed. And so it just makes the monster more vulnerable. And the benefit isn't as good as I thought it would be, because it doesn't... it's just not as good as I thought it would be. So, that's why it is one of the cards I'm thinking of removing. Okay, so now that I've shown you the deck, I will show you the cards that I'm thinking of putting in the deck, in replacing of these cards. So, some major, at the tournament, I haven't talked about that, at the tournament, I did not do very well, right? I did not win, and the reason is that they were able to get a lot of guys in the field. I had a lot of monsters, and I only had one normal summon. I couldn't destroy them, and they had lots of, spell and traps. So that's the first thing, is that I need more ways of destroying monsters. So, that's why I'm going to put in Needle Sealing. I did have Needle Sealing in originally, but then I had taken it out. I'm putting it back in. Second of all, they had lots of traps. So I'm going to put in a 7 Tools of the Bandits. I could put in a Solemn Judgment, which could be good. But I think 7 Tools of the Bandit has less steep of a cost, especially early. And that's early game is what matters, because that's when you have all the options, and you have to use this. So 7 Tools of the Bandit, less downside, protects me, right? Next, I thought I had a lot of monsters, but we're going to add a new monster. Cyberjar. So Cyberjar destroys all monsters, which is good. And then it basically, once again, it resets the game, right? And that's something I think I need, because I run out of stamina. Even though I try to not run out of stamina, I do run out of stamina faster than my opponents, who have, more cohesive decks. So that's why I'm putting Cyberjar in. And the last card I'm going to put in is Mirage Dragon. So Mirage Dragon disables traps, right? Traps cannot be activated during battle. And that's something that would happen to me, is that they would use Mirror Forces and, Sakuretsu armors, and they'd use battle traps to destroy my guys. I don't want that. Mirage Dragon helps me protect against that. So that's why I'm putting Mirage Dragon in. Okay. Like I've said before, if you have any suggestions, comment down below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you in the next one.